Naman Lopes, Naman Lopes, Naman Lopes. Morning, everyone. Do you mind if I talk with my mask off? Are you okay? Okay. Raise your hand if you're not okay. Okay. Welcome, everyone, to our March Shotsuki monthly memorial service. I'd like to welcome all those who are here today. We must have what? Over 50 people here. So very nice to see all of you out here. I'm sure you are all dying to get out and come to something like this. So I thank you all for making the effort to join us this morning. And I also would like to welcome all those who are joining us via Zoom. This monthly memorial service is a time in which we remember loved ones who have passed on during this month of March. So I'd like to begin this service with a moment of silent meditation, followed by the recitation of the name of the Buddha or the Onenbutsu. Please join me in Gasho. Naman Lopes, Naman Lopes, Naman Lopes, Naman Lopes, Naman Lopes. Next, we're going to have the readings, and I'm going to bring it up on the screen for those who are at home. We're going to start off, and I'll also bring it up on the screen here for those who are here in attendance. Okay. We're going to start off with a reading of the homage and three treasures. In your purple seitan, it's actually on page 11. So if you wish to follow in the purple seitan, you may do so. Homage. Hard it is to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult it is to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we are hearing them. If we do not gain emancipation in the present life, we may not be free from sorrow in the ocean of births and deaths. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures. We go to the Buddha for guidance. May we always walk in the way that leads to enlightenment. Everyone, we go to the Buddha for guidance. May we always walk in the way that leads to enlightenment. We go to the Dharma for guidance. May we be submerged in the depth of the teachings and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. Everyone, we go to the Dharma for guidance. May we be submerged in the depth of the teachings and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. We go to the Sangha for guidance. May we all with one accord live the life of harmony in the spirit of oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Everyone, we go to the Sangha for guidance. May we all with one accord live the life of harmony in the spirit of oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriads of kalpas, hard it is to hear such excellent and profound teachings. Now we are able to hear and receive them. Let us try to understand the Tathagata's teachings. Namandos, namandos. Next, we will be having the Suture Chanting, and we're actually going to be chanting, we're going to be chanting the Sambujo, which in your purple section is on page 89, or it's on the screen here, and for those at home, it's on the screen. And following the Sambujo, we're going to be chanting together the Sambutsuge. Sambutsuge is on page 73 of the purple seiten. I am not going to be bringing the Sambutsuge up on the screen because it is the Shotsuki service. Instead, when we begin chanting the Sambutsuge, I will be bringing up the loved ones who have passed on during the month of March on the screen. And when you see your loved ones, for those who are here at the temple, you can come up and burn incense in honor and in memory of the loved one. It'd be appreciated. For those of you who may not be here for the Shotsuki but are attending the Sunday service, you may come up at the end to offer incense as well. Thank you. Naman nobs, naman nobs, naman nobs, naman nobs. We are gathered here in the quietude of Amita's temple to commemorate the March 2022 Shotsuki monthly memorial service, in which we remember loved ones who have passed on during this month of March. We faithfully recite the Nembutsu and humbly join our hands in Gassho. May the fragrance of incense teach us the purity of our intentions. May the beauty of the flowers offered remind us of the glory of the Dhamma. And may the lights that burn brightly upon the altar lead our thoughts to Amita's eternal light of wisdom and boundless compassion that dispels the darkness of our ignorance. Namo. Shusho 녀제 삼마이 지혜 이조 고세 도급스 스교싱아 이사이 그게 이사나야 계시읍은 작은 너그마 무료나이쇼 신영어자 그여 이사이 시도쇼붓 은여그도 겐쇼흑약 인여거자 쇼붓 세가이 무가게 무슈세즈도 고묘시쇼 엔시쇼곡 녀세쇼지 이진난요 요가사붓 고그노나이치 고식이며 도저조제스 고그녀나여 님은 어서 아노아이미 노다드이사이 지모라이쇼 신내드쇼조 이도가곡 예라그안노 오브드시며 내가 신쇼 오드가 너희 리기쇼쇼욕 제모세som 지혜무게 조려시성 지가신교 계려신시 조그도그주 가교조지 닌저게 나만나부 나 Namandavs, 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 namandavs. 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 Namandavs, namandavs, namandavs. Namandavs. We will also have the reading of the English translation of the Sambutsuge, which you'll find on your screen. And for those who have not offered incense and wish to do so, please come on up at this time. Sambutsuge translation, Praises of the Buddha. Your face shines in great splendor, boundless wondrous dignity, such the greatness of your light, beyond all comparison. Brightness of the sun and moon and the shining money jewel, when compared to your brilliance, seem to us like blackest ink. Tathagata's countenance transcends all comparison. The great voice of awakening resounds throughout the 10 quarters. Your precepts, learning effort, meditation, wisdom are virtues beyond all compare, ultimate, supreme, and rare. Your deep meditation has fathomed all the Dharma sea, to the limits and the depth of all things the Buddhas teach. Ignorance, anger, and greed, the world-honored one has none. Like a lion among men, measureless your great virtues. Vast are your great virtuous deeds, your deep wisdom is profound. Your radiant, luminous light shakes all the world's foundations. When I become a Buddha, equal to the Dharma King, I will transcend birth and death, liberating all beings. My giving, discipline, precepts, patience and effort, meditation and wisdom shall be supreme, unsurpassed. When I attain Buddhahood, everywhere fulfill my vow, bringing peace and tranquility to all beings in doubt and fear. Though there are myriad Buddhas beyond measure, beyond count, and great sages numberless, like the grains of Ganges sand, I will honor each of them equally, accepting none. Even more importantly, I will seek the supreme way. Even though all Buddha worlds are countless as Ganges sands, even though all lands and realms are boundless without measure, yet my light shall reach them all and illumine every place. Such shall be my perfect work, such my power infinite. When I attain Buddhahood, my land will be first and best, place of practice transcendent, its people sublime and rare. My land is like nirvana, beyond all comparison. In my sincere compassion, I will enlighten all beings. All who come from 10 quarters to be born into my land will be pure, filled with gladness, peace, and great tranquility. O Buddhas of the 10 quarters, this my true revelation. In this way, I've made my vows, and I will strive to fulfill them. Buddhas of the 10 quarters, with your wisdom unimpeded, may I always call on you to reveal my intentions. Though my body undergoes so much pain and suffering, I will persevere and strive patiently without regret. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Oops, let me just stop that. Okay, and okay. Once again, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us, both in person again and on Zoom. This morning, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the interdependence of existence. Very long wording. Interdependence, everything is interconnected. And I wanted to share, I know she's on the Zoom, and I hope I don't embarrass her too much, but how things work in ways that are beyond our rational mind, if you will, okay? And the interconnectedness of life throughout this universe, and how things are not always as they seem. So, as an example of this, and I've said hello to her previously before in our services, but we have with us a person from Texas joining our service, Yvonne Perkins. And Yvonne, actually, thanks to Ted mentioning at the end of our last service that people can become members of our temple even if they don't live here locally. And Yvonne actually became a member this past week of our temple. So welcome, Yvonne, to our System Buddhist Temple Sangha. But Yvonne's journey to become a temple member is quite unique, because what Yvonne did was, I guess it must have been last year, she started by taking a Jodo Shinshu correspondence course, English correspondence course. So we have, it's hosted by the Center for Buddhist Education down in Berkeley, California. But there's a correspondence course that was created, and it's been now over 10 years since the inception of this course. I've had the good fortune to be associated or involved with this course from the beginning. And my role is I'm one of the, they call it instructors, but I'm not really an instructor. What it is that I'm more of a reader is what it is. So how this correspondence course works is that every month the students, they receive text, online text, that they have to read. And then at the end of the month, there's an essay that they have to submit. There's usually a choice of several essays from that topic of that month. And then the readers, and the readers like myself are ministers throughout Canada and the States and Hawaii. And the reason why I say States and Hawaii is in our Jodo Shinshu organization, the mainland states and Hawaii have two different organizations. Hawaii has its own organization. So we have ministers from out North America and Hawaii who read these students' articles, and then we make comments on their essays, okay? And so I've been on this part of this correspondence course from the beginning, but every semester, I guess, we receive a number of students, usually between around half a dozen. They don't want to overload us because they know we are ministers working full-time as well. So I had the pleasure of having Yvonne as one of my students. And so in the comments that I was making, I just happened to mention to her that we have a monthly or weekly Sunday morning service. And since the pandemic, we've been having it by Zoom. So Yvonne started joining these Zoom services, and now she has become a member of our temple. But here's a real good example of interconnectedness and the mysterious ways of how things work. Because had Yvonne not taken this correspondence course, I would never have encountered her. And had I not been assigned Yvonne through the administration, then she would have never known about this Zoom service. So this is how things that goes beyond our capacity of understanding is interconnected. And this goes on to other examples as well. And one of the things that Buddhism talks about is the interconnectedness, not only spatially, but also vertically in time, okay? So they talk about the interconnectedness of the past, present, and the future. And I think most of us, myself included, find it very easy to understand how the present affects the future and how the past affects the present, right? So we know by our actions today, well, we know the actions of our past has created global warming, for instance, as an example, right? And what we do today will affect our future as well. That all makes sense. That's very linear in the way of thinking. But what Buddhism also says, which is very interesting, this is where it gets a little bit more, I know I see some younger people. Are you into the MCU and the multiverse and all that? Any of you? I see some of the younger ones smiling. Okay, so this sort of gets more into this kind of world, the multiverse type concept, okay? Because it says in Buddhism, the interconnectedness does not just go from past, present to future, but also the present affects the past. And how does that work? Right? This is, as I said, it sort of gets your mind bending a little bit, okay? And here's what the very important aspect of this is. And this has to do with the Shotsuki service today, okay? Again, the younger people know these words. Language is fascinating because there are words that come up, but I think they become more popular as time or whatever is in fashion. And right now, I'm sure a lot of young people know about character arc. If I say character arc, do you know what that means? See, the older people are going like this, right? Do some of the younger ones know what it means? Like in a storyline, okay, there's an arc of a character. And what that arc means is that when they make a story for a lot of these Hollywood movies or in any stories in general, there's a timeline or a whole story that's associated with that individual, okay? So if you look at, well, going back to that Avengers example, you have these characters that have, like Captain America has his own arc from the beginning to all the movies, and then he completes that arc at the end. Okay, so that's what they call arc now. I don't think it was ever used as such in the past, but this is what they talk about, that each person has this sort of an arc, sort of a timeline, a storyline, okay? So how you're affecting the past is this. By your attendance here today, you've created an arc for your ancestors, okay? By your attendance here today, you are acknowledging the importance or what your ancestors had placed importance on. Things like family, things like remembrance. Things like grounding ourselves to our roots. By your attendance today, you're acknowledging all of that. And that, in effect, validates what they stood for in their life. So your presence here today has affected their past or is a validation of their past. So it's sort of a symbiotic relationship. By you being here today, you are saying, yes, I acknowledge what my parents, my sister, my brother, my grandparents, whoever it was, I acknowledge what they placed importance in, I also place importance in. And this action actually goes forward as well. Again, a couple weeks ago, I talked about Grayson, right? And I mentioned about how he and his friend came here to the temple, and his friend had a skateboard under his arm. And so at first, since we've done this beautiful renovations, the majority of things have been very positive, but one sort of byproduct that may or may not be that positive is that there's a number of wonderful features for skateboarders, mountain bike riders, or even scooter riders, right? And they're coming and they're jumping off the curbs and they're jumping onto the benches and etc. So when I'm sitting in my office, which is right out front, I can see all of this. So whenever I see these young, it's not, this is not gender discrimination because it's been all boys, okay? So whenever I see one of these boys, I usually have to go out to sort of ask them, please don't do that on our benches or some of the features that we have. Because one, there's a liability issue, right? Or, and also, it's just not the correct thing to do. So I saw Grayson, and I didn't recognize him because his hair has changed. He's grown since the last time I've seen him. I saw Grayson and his friend coming with the skateboard under his arm, and so I thought, uh-oh, here's two more boys up to no good. And so I went out, and I was about to tell them, you can't do that here. But instead I asked him, can I help you? And that's when Grayson recognized me. And he says, yeah, or just coming by to see grandma's bench, right? And so here again, I've mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, so you all heard this, or many of you have heard this. But the point here is an interconnectedness of the past and present. It was because your grandmother placed importance on things like family that you felt it important to come by and visit, right? So the interconnectedness of past, present, future. And it all happens actually right here and now. Because for you, being here is important, right? The past and the future all comes together right here. Your presence here, your attendance, Zoom or in person, shows that for you, for me, this is important. And that's all it's all about. And so in the Buddhism, when we talk about the interdependence of life, this is not some grandiose philosophy, but it's for each of us. What is important to me? And right now, right here, I am the focal point of the interconnection between the past and the future. My attendance here expresses my understanding that, yes, this interconnectedness is very important to me. So I am grateful that all of you have made this effort to either come here in person, but I hope that you'll remember that this is for me, or well, for you, for each one of us, okay? And so in a way to express our gratitude to this oneness, we do place our hands together in Gassho. So at this time, if I can ask you, again, please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namamidaos. Thank you all for joining us. And we're going to close our service actually with the singing of Ondok-san. And I'm just going to give me a couple seconds, Genevieve, so I can bring it up. And if you're here in the Hondo, the Ondok-san is actually on page 307, was it? No, what page was it? Purple Satan. I think it was 307. Let me just. Yeah, 307. 307, on page 307. And I'm just going to bring it up on the screen for those at home and wish to join in the singing of Ondok-san. And so let me just, give me 2 seconds here, Genevieve. Okay. Actually, I'll put it on the screen as well if you wish. So for those who are able to, please rise, and we'll be singing Ondok-san. Please be seated for those that are here. So this will conclude our service for the March Shotsuki. I thank all of those who have come in person to attend, and I welcome those who are joining by Zoom. If you wish to come in person, the temple is now open, and I feel pretty safe about having everybody here. So thank you again. And please, when you leave, don't forget to take your home meal and make sure you take the right one and not somebody else's. Thank you. And enjoy the day.
Thank you very much, Sensei.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
You.
Thank you, Sensei. Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
Take care, everyone. You too.
Bye, Auntie June.
Bye. Bye, Jennifer. How are you doing?
It's getting better.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Take care.
Got oatmeal. Ew.
Oh,
Marty, I chatted you. Do you have time to FaceTime me?
It's good.
Bye, everyone. Hi, Dean. Nice to see you.
Hi, Dee.